The morning light slowly touched the cracked windows of a small apartment in Los Angeles. Aiden Walker sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the wall. The alarm on his phone had been ringing for 5 minutes, but he didn't move. His hands trembled as he tied his work boots, old and covered with dust from yesterday's shift. His phone buzzed again, a message from Marcus. "Bro, you late again. Boss mad as hell." Aiden sighed, grabbed his jacket, and left without breakfast. Outside, the city was already alive, cars honking, people rushing, dreams colliding. He unlocked his bicycle and began pedaling fast, the wind cold against his face. His headphones played a soft tune he had written himself on his phone's music app, one of the few things that still made him feel alive. He whispered under his breath, "One day they'll hear it. One day." At the construction site, Marcus was waiting near the gate, holding a cup of coffee. "Man, I told you to get up early," Marcus said. Aiden took the cup, grateful. "Didn't sleep much?" "You never do," Marcus replied, half smiling. "Still writing those songs?" "Yeah," Aiden said. "But I need new equipment. My laptop's dying," Marcus laughed. "Your laptop's been dying since I met you, bro." They both laughed, but deep down, Aiden knew it wasn't funny. Every night after work, he tried to record something new, but his old laptop froze, crashed, and sometimes deleted hours of work. Yet he never stopped. That was his dream. To make music that meant something. By evening, his back ached, his hands blistered. The foreman shouted as usual, complaining about deadlines. Aiden kept quiet, finishing his work. When the shift ended, he walked home, too tired to even talk. At a small corner store, he bought a cup of instant noodles. The cashier, a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, smiled. "You work too hard, kid." Aiden smiled weakly. "Trying to build a dream." "Just don't lose yourself in the process," she said softly. He nodded, not realizing how true her words were. At night, he sat at his small desk, opened his laptop, and started playing with beats. The glow of the screen filled the dark room. He hummed a few lines, wrote them down in his notebook. His voice cracked, but he kept going. His lyrics spoke of pain, hope, and promises, things he never got to keep. A knock came at the door. Marcus entered, holding 2 beers. "Thought you could use one," Marcus said. "Thanks," Aiden replied, saving his work. Marcus sat beside him, glancing at the screen. "Man, this is good. Like really good." "You think so?" "I know so. You just need someone to hear it." Aiden leaned back, exhausted. "No one cares about a broke guy singing in a tiny room." Marcus shook his head. "That's where you're wrong. People care when you're real." They clinked their bottles and drank in silence. Outside, sirens echoed in the distance, and the night wind rattled the window. The next few weeks were the same. Work, home, music, and exhaustion. But then, one evening, everything changed. A local radio contest appeared online. Upload your original song. Winner gets a studio deal and $10,000. Aiden's heart raced. He clicked on it, read the rules, and smiled for the first time in weeks. "This is it," he whispered. He spent nights perfecting his track, barely sleeping. Marcus helped however he could, bringing coffee and encouragement. After a week, the song was done. Aiden uploaded it, titled The Last Dream. He waited. Days turned into weeks. Then, one night while scrolling through his phone, he saw a message notification. "Congratulations, Aiden Walker. Your song has been selected in the top 10. He froze. His eyes widened. "Marcus!" he shouted, running to his friend's apartment. Marcus opened the door, half asleep. "What's wrong?" Aiden shoved the phone in his face. "Look, I made it!" Marcus stared, then yelled, "No way, man!" "You did it." They laughed, shouted, jumped like kids. For the first time, Aiden felt alive. Really alive. The following week, he got an email from the radio station. "Come to New York for the live finals." He couldn't believe it. New York, the city of dreams. But reality struck fast. The ticket cost $300, and he had barely $60 left after rent. He sat in silence, staring at his empty wallet. Marcus entered quietly, saw his face. "What happened?" "Ticket," Aiden said softly. "I can't afford it." Marcus didn't speak for a moment. Then he placed a folded envelope on the table. "Take it." "What's this?" "My savings." "You're going to New York!" Aiden's eyes filled with tears. "I can't take this." "Yes, you can. You're my brother, man. You've worked too hard for this." Aiden hugged him tightly. "I'll make it worth it. I promise." A week later, he boarded a bus to New York. The city lights welcomed him like stars. He had never seen buildings so tall, people moving so fast. He booked a cheap room and prepared for the final audition. The radio studio was huge, full of bright lights and nervous contestants. Everyone looked confident, dressed perfectly. Aiden stood in a thrift store jacket, clutching his notebook. A woman with a clipboard called his name. "Aiden Walker, you're next." He took a deep breath, stepped onto the stage. 3 judges sat before him. One of them asked, "Tell us about yourself." Aiden swallowed. "I'm a construction worker from LA. I write songs after work." "This song, it's everything I've got." The judge smiled slightly. "Let's hear it." He took the mic, closed his eyes, and began to sing. His voice wasn't perfect, but it was real, full of pain, honesty, and hope. The room fell silent. Even the judges looked moved. When he finished, one of them said quietly, "Beautiful." He smiled, holding back tears. "Thank you." Later that night, he waited outside for the results. Contestants came out one by one, some smiling, some crying. Aiden sat alone on the steps, his hands shaking. Finally, a staff member came out and handed him an envelope. He tore it open. His heart stopped. It read, "Congratulations. You are the winner." He froze. Tears filled his eyes. He whispered, "Mom, I did it." He called Marcus immediately. "Bro, we made it." Marcus screamed through the phone. "I told you! I told you!" Aiden laughed, his voice breaking. "It's finally happening." The next morning, he met the producers, signed some documents, and posed for photos. The world suddenly felt wide open. Everything he had dreamed of was finally real, but he didn't know. Fate was already waiting for him just around the corner. Aiden woke to sunlight spilling through thin hotel curtains. For the first time in years, he didn't have to rush to work or worry about rent. His phone kept buzzing. Notifications, messages, congratulations from strangers online. His song had aired on the radio the night before and gone viral. He stared at the screen in disbelief. Thousands of comments. People writing how his lyrics made them cry, how they felt seen. Marcus called, "Bro, you're trending." "You're freaking trending." Aiden laughed, voice trembling. "I don't even know what to do." "Enjoy it. You earned this, man. I'm proud of you." Later that day, he met the label producer, Evelyn Carter, a confident woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and a calm smile. "You have something rare, Aiden," she said. "Not just a voice, truth. We can make you big." "I don't want to be big," he said softly. "I just want my music to mean something." Evelyn nodded. "Good. That's what makes people listen." Within a month, Aiden moved to New York permanently. He signed a modest contract, started recording properly, and the label promoted him as the voice of the working class. Interviews, photo shoots, endless questions about his journey from construction to fame. Every answer he gave felt both proud and uncomfortable. He missed the simplicity of his old life, the smell of dust at sunrise, Marcus's jokes, cheap coffee at the corner store. But the work was exciting. Long nights in the studio, trying new sounds, meeting other artists. The first single hit 1 million streams. Fans wrote letters. People called him real, different. Yet fame came with shadows. Managers told him what to wear, what to say, how to smile. Social media attacks when he skipped events. The pressure to deliver something bigger every time. Evelyn would gently remind him, "Your story sells hope. Don't change it." He nodded, though inside he felt hollow. Months later, Marcus finally visited him in New York. "Man, this place is crazy." Marcus said, stepping into the sleek apartment. It doesn't even feel like mine, Aiden admitted. Too clean, too quiet, Marcus grinned. You need a mess to feel alive. They laughed, but soon fell into silence. Aiden looked out the window at the glowing skyline. I thought success would fix everything, he said. But I still feel lost. Marcus patted his shoulder. Maybe you just need to remember why you started. That night, they walked through the city streets talking about their childhoods, about dreams. Aiden stopped by a street performer singing with a cracked guitar. The man's voice was rough but honest. People ignored him walking past. Aiden dropped a $100 bill into the open case. The man looked up, stunned. Thanks, brother. Aiden smiled. Don't stop singing. Back home, he sat at his piano and began writing again. Not for the label, not for money, but for himself. The song that came out was slow, full of longing. He called it Home is the Noise. When Evelyn heard it, she frowned. It's beautiful, but sad. We need something more upbeat for radio. It's who I am, Aiden said. And who you are doesn't always sell, she replied gently. He didn't argue, but he knew he couldn't fake joy. Weeks later, the label forced him into a collaboration with a pop star. The song went viral but felt empty to him. He watched fans scream his name, yet he couldn't smile on stage. Backstage, Marcus found him sitting alone. You okay? I don't know, Aiden said. I feel like I'm disappearing. You're just tired. You've been running nonstop. Maybe. Or maybe I lost the part of me that started running in the first place. He took a break, vanished from the spotlight for a few months. Reporters speculated, is Aiden Walker finished? During that time, he returned to L.A., to the same old apartment building. The corner store woman was still there. You came back, she said warmly. Yeah. He smiled faintly. Needed to breathe. Fame doesn't feed the soul, does it? Not the way a dream does, he answered. That evening, he visited the construction site. New workers, new faces. The noise, the dust, the laughter, it all felt like home. He called Marcus from there. Remember this place? Always, Marcus said. You sound better already. I'm writing again. Something honest. Good. That's the Aiden I know. But tragedy moves silently. A few weeks later, while driving to meet Marcus, Aiden's phone rang. It was Evelyn. She sounded panicked. Aiden, we need you back. The company's in trouble. We need a hit. You're the only one who can fix this. He hesitated. I'm not ready. If you don't, they'll drop you. Everything you built could vanish. He ended the call without answering. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then heavy. The road blurred. He pulled over, staring at the storm through the windshield. Aiden whispered to himself, What's left if the dream eats you alive? He reached for his notebook on the passenger seat and wrote, Fame is a mirror. The closer you look, the less you see yourself. The next morning, Marcus arrived at Aiden's apartment, but the door was open, the room empty. On the desk lay the notebook, a single page torn out. It read simply, Tell them I'm okay. Tell them to keep dreaming. Marcus searched for him for days, calling, messaging, reaching everyone he knew. No sign. Aiden had vanished from social media, from the label, from everything. A month passed. Then one night, a local radio host played a mysterious, unreleased track. The voice was unmistakable. Aiden's. The song was raw, haunting. It began with quiet piano and the words, I gave the world my dream, and the world gave it back broken. People cried listening. The song spread everywhere, but Aiden never reappeared. Marcus visited the old construction site every weekend, leaving flowers near a small wall where Aiden used to rest during breaks. Workers said they sometimes heard faint humming at dawn, someone singing softly, like a memory that refused to fade. And in the city, posters of Aiden Walker still hung on street corners, smiling, alive in pictures, even if gone in truth. Marcus looked up at one of them one evening, whispered, You did it, brother. You made them listen. The wind moved through the empty street, carrying the echo of a voice that once believed in dreams.